Surely, in the light of history, it is more intelligent to hope rather than to fear, to try rather than not to try. For one thing we know beyond all doubt, nothing has ever been achieved by the person who says, "It can't be done." Enough to talk about peace. One must believe in it. And it isn't enough to believe in it. One must work at it. The UN is our greatest hope for future peace. Alone we cannot keep the peace of the world, but in cooperation with others we have to achieve this much longed for security. Remember always that you have not only the right to be an individual, you have an obligation to be one. You cannot make any useful contribution in life unless you do this. The important thing is neither your nationality nor the religion you professed, but how your faith translated itself in your life. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. The purpose of life is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experience. You have to accept whatever comes, and the only important thing is that you meet it with the best you have to give. Life was meant to be lived, and curiosity must be kept alive. One must never, for whatever reason, turn his back on life. Friendship with oneself is all important because, without it, one cannot be friends with anyone else in the world. Since you get more joy out of giving joy to others, you should put a good deal of thought into the happiness you are able to give. You wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. Many people will walk in and out of your life, but only true friends will leave footprints in your heart. Think as little as possible about yourself. Think as much as possible about other people. In the long run, we shape our lives, and we shape ourselves. The process never ends until we die. And the choices we make are ultimately our own responsibility. It is a brave thing to have courage to be an individual. It is also, perhaps, a lonely thing, but it is better than not being an individual, which is to be nobody at all. Success must include two things: the development of an individual to his utmost potentiality and a contribution of some kind to one's world. We all create the person we become by our choices as we go through life. In a real sense, by the time we are adults, we are the sum total of the choices we have made. You can never really live anyone else's life, not even your child's. The influence you exert is through your own life, and what you've become yourself. In all our contacts, it is probably the sense of being really needed and wanted which gives us the greatest satisfaction and creates the most lasting bond. I am convinced that every effort must be made in childhood to teach the young to use their own minds. For one thing is sure, if they don't make up their minds, someone will do it for them. Justice cannot be for one side alone, but must be for both. I could not at any age be content to take my place in a corner by the fireside and simply look on. Hate and force cannot be in just a part of the world without having an effect on the rest of it. Do not stop thinking of life as an adventure. You have no security unless you can live bravely, excitingly, imaginatively, unless you can choose a challenge instead of competence. Enjoy every minute you have with those you love, my dear, for no one can take joy that has passed away from you. It will be there in your heart to live on when the dark days come. One's philosophy is not best expressed in words, it is expressed in the choices one makes, and the choices we make are ultimately our responsibility. To be mature, you have to realize what you value most. Not to arrive at a clear understanding of one's own values is a tragic waste. You have missed the whole point of what life is for. Your ambition should be to get as much life out of living as you possibly can, as much enjoyment, as much interest, as much experience, as much understanding. Not simply be what is generally called a success. A stumbling block to the pessimist is a stepping stone to the optimist. If life were predictable, it would cease to be life, and be without flavor. A woman is like a tea bag, you never know how strong it is until it's in hot water. A good leader inspires people to have confidence in the leader. A great leader inspires people to have confidence in themselves. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. To handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. Do what you feel in your heart to be right, for you'll be criticized anyway. You'll be damned if you do, and damned if you don't.